This will be my first unboxing video. And the snozberries taste like snozberries. So anyway, first thing we do is we're going to get out an alcohol handy wipe. These are like the alcohol wipes you get, only giant size. These are for people like, who actually want to get something cheap that works. And this is a can of Bush's Best Brown Sugar Hickory Baked Beans. It's not what's in the can, it's the can itself. On the underside, we have what's called a welded bottom or a extruded bottom. If any of you know exactly which way it is, tell me, but this is an extruded bottom. What this is a two-piece can. These are rather unusual these days, and one of the best ones you could get for making something out of, which is what this is really about, was for Dinty Moore beef stew, having a over 20-ounce can that was pot-shaped, and you could use it to make a cooking pot. If you're not aware of it, one of the things that was done part of the war effort, several war efforts, was to make it to where any canned food was either able to be prepared or heated up in the can or, quote, cooked in the can. It says right on the can that it was cooked in it, which means the interior of it is made not food grade, but cooking grade. Now, this does not say baked in the can. Slow simmered with brown sugar and spices. It does not say anywhere on it cooked in the can. Now, first things first, the top. Antiseptic wipe. We do the antiseptic wipe thing. I'm not going to use a piercing can opener, but to make sure you can just put this back in the fridge, always sterilize the top. Boiling hot water will work, but I'm using alcohol. Toss the alcohol away. And then we use, if we have one, a tissue paper. Looks like it was just rolled up and thrown there, which it was, but this is actually completely clean. Okay, there we go. Then we use our safety cut side cut can opener. It turns the top of it into a lid. We can also use the bottom of one of these as a lid for cooking for camping purposes. I also have a video where I explain that I might have invented something that allows you to add a handle to it. I call it a handle band. It's a metal band that goes around it that allows you to have a hinge point to add handles. We cut it open, and I'm going to see whether or not the interior of this is secretly cook in the can or secretly a cooking utensil. Now, of course, the lawyers for the company are going to state, don't do that. We don't guarantee it, void for prohibitive, and they'll put up a gigantic amount of disclaimer. But it might be cooked in the can grade. So when we open it, normally we use a magnet on the can opener or whatever. I'm going to lift off the lid, and I'm going to try not to have any contact with it. The interior appears to either have a clear glaze, which is possibly, food grade, cooked in the can grade, or not. I'm going to throw away that alcohol wipe. And now I'm going to have to not pour it onto the computer keyboard and take a look at it. Read it like tea leaves, and again, the interior does not appear to have any coated lining. That would indicate strongly to most people you can't cook in it. Exposing metals to any food is always risky, so virtually every company puts in a liner, usually called it'll be called all sorts of things, but the main thing is the lining in it will be baked into it at a temperature much higher than you would boil water. If it says cooked in the can and it contains any meat, you look up what the minimum temperature is for meat or sauces or whatever to be cooked at. You have to look it up with your local health department. That'll be the temperature it's able to tolerate. Almost all of these, if you put water in them, will tolerate up to boiling because the water removes the possibility of it harming anything. To remove the labels on these, you expose them to cold because these are cold deactivated glues that break off in little chips. And then after you get them off, after you get off the label and everything like that, this is also for recycling. You want to get rid of the glue. And then, at the end of this, you can then put water in it and put it onto a heat source. This could be anything from a soda can cooker to the hot coals at the bottom of a fire, and it should heat up water. It doesn't guarantee anything more than that. In fact, it doesn't guarantee it. The other method for these things, if you wanted to go through the effort, like I have done with a Dinty Moore can when I had one, chemically stripping all of the liner or coatings off of it The varnish is another name for it. And then, chemically stripping it again if there is a need for it, then washing it by putting the whole can into boiling water in a large pot by holding it under and literally almost autoclaving it to sterilize it and also get rid of the cleaning fluids and dirt and whatever else might have gotten in there. And then you can line the interior by using elemental or pure tin tinning flux, which is normally used for lining expensive cook pots for French chefs. They're normally made of copper, but they line them with tin, or for soldering wiring or soldering water pipes. Depending on the grade you can find elementally, pure tin without any contaminants in it, which makes it food safe. And that's a method that was used in the past, also just making them out of tin to make food safe cooking utensils and pots and such for camping, for ultralight camping back in the old style. Camping in the Old Style is a book you can look up. So this has been a review, not of what's in the can, but of the can itself. And this one's rated at potentially 21 or more ounces of volume, which makes it at the point that you can do the 16-ounce proper minimum rehydration for water container for it. And you can use a clamp-on handle, or like I do, a handle band where I build a strap that holds handles on that I make out of reasonably thick steel wire that wrap around it and make it a good cooking pot. So this has been a review of the two-piece can version of the Bush's Best Brown Sugar Hickory Baked Bean can, not its contents, for viability as a cook pot. It has to be over 16 ounces volume or weight or whatever they're written on it, and preferably broad and kind of short like a Dinty Moore can. And again, the people who make the Dinty Moore cans, or any cans like it, should just put them out a single-piece bottom, or two-piece cans as they're called, because the lid is the other piece. That makes it to where it says cooked on the can, and that way we can have our expedient, Boy Scout grade, make up a little cook pot because it's fun kind of thing. And also because it provides the ability, if you just ship a bunch of these, for everybody to have literal equipment to make a meal in. I did that for years. And yes, while it doesn't look like it's lined with anything, it probably is. And while it doesn't say cooked in the can, it very likely was, because the processes need to sterilize them are very close to the same as at least boiling water and usually cooking temperatures. Void where prohibitive, look up the laws in your area, and if possible, go get a Department of Health issued food handler's license so you know what you're talking about, unlike WAPTEC. I am not an expert. Thanks for watching. Have a good day. Good luck with that. You'll need it.